And a very good evening and welcome right around Australia as Seven Sport is set to take you to Florianopolis in Brazil as the home nation gears up for its Davis Cup quarter-final against Australia. Two outstanding squads on show over the next 3 evenings here on Seven. The Brazilians led by the former world number one Gustavo Kuerten, Fernando Meligeni, Jaime Onsins and Alexandre Simoni. Up against the Australians, led also by a former world number one and Patrick Rafter, Leighton Hewitt, Wayne Arthurs and Richard Fromberg. Later tonight, an outstanding clash, Leighton Hewitt up against Fernando Meligeni. But first up, the expected titanic struggle between the two former world number ones, Patrick Rafter and Gustavo Kuerten, shaping as a blockbuster. But Kuerten, Alan Stone, as we welcome you to our coverage tonight, on home court in front of a very parochial home crowd.
Well, it's entirely appropriate, David, that these two great players should play to open this tie. I mean, two of the most popular players in world tennis. And, gee, I think Patrick Rafter will have to play the match of his life if he's to beat Kuerten in this opening match.
It's a demanding 3 days for Rafter, playing singles, reverse singles on Sunday and also tomorrow night in the doubles. But as you said, in the old days, that was the norm for the top players.
Well, look, Rafter, his whole ambition this year is to perform well in the Davis Cup. This is what he's really living for this year, so I'm sure he'll be able to cope with it.
Well, the hot clay courts of Florianopolis is awaiting the Australians. Expected top temperature of 30 degrees today. Patrick Rafter in action, as we can see. As we join our commentators courtside, let's go to John Alexander and a very good evening to Gary Wilkinson.
Thank you very much, David Fordham. It is an enormous occasion here in Florianopolis, this Davis Cup quarter-final. The stand is jam-packed, the temporary stadium, 10,800 they say, but I wouldn't be surprised if 3,000 or 4,000 more have snuck in under the fence, John Alexander.
Yes, it's quite an interesting attitude they have here in Brazil. It's so relaxed, and while the stadium was built for 10,800, everybody freely admits that they think it'll be up to 13,000 or 14,000. They'll bring in their amigos.
So Pat Rafter to play Gustavo Kuerten in the opening match, and what an impact on the entire tie this match is going to have. Patrick Rafter, winner of 10 singles titles in his career, including, of course, back-to-back US Opens in 1997 and 1998. Finalist at Wimbledon last year. But the Davis Cup is what he hungers for, and he is going to give it his all in this tie against Brazil in the hope that he can help to carry Australia through to the final once more. Of course, Australia winning against France year before last, but Patrick Rafter was not able to play, and then, of course, last year when he was able to play, we lost the final to Spain in Barcelona. Gustavo Kuerten, they're both very, very good friends, and in many ways kindred spirits, these two, but that's all forgotten now that they're on the court. Kuerten, winner of 12 titles, 2 of those already this year, and of course among those 12 championships includes 2 French Open titles in 1997 and in 2000 last year, in which year he also finished the world number one for the year after taking out the Masters Cup final in Lisbon. These are 2 of the top players in the game in the world today, but as the results suggest, Rafter's best successes have been on hard courts, 2 US Opens, and Kuerten, the king of clay, 2 French Opens, plus the Masters Cup final. John Fitzgerald, a nervous man, only his second tie in charge for Australia. That's Ricardo Acioli, the Brazilian captain, former Davis Cup player for Brazil. So both the captains know what it's all about. They've both represented their countries.
1 minute.
1 minute before the start of play, Andres Egli is the man in the chair from Switzerland in charge of this tie. These 2 players have played 5 times before. Now the record is 3-2 in favour of Patrick Rafter. Their latest meeting, however, went to Gustavo Kuerten. That was in the Paris indoor. He also won their first encounter in the final on clay, and it's important to remember that. They played in the final in Rome a couple of years ago, 1999. Kuerten won that. Rafter then had 3 wins on the trot before Kuerten won their last encounter. Fernando Meligeni centre screen. He'll be playing the second singles match for Brazil against Leighton Hewitt. There's what passes for a hush of expectation. Patrick Rafter, well, as I said, he and Kuerten are good friends. Let's just find out quickly what he thinks about Kuerten going into this match.
I don't think you get much tougher than Guga. He's, as you said, he's got number 1 in the world, and he did well the indoor last year, but he's really a clay court player, a clay court specialist, and he can play in other surfaces, don't get me wrong, but This is his number one surface, and we've got to go in the mind that we go out there, we take a couple of risks, and if they work against him, they work. But we can't put our energy into someone like Guga.
Yeah, it's his number one surface. It's the surface that carried him to number one in the world at the end of last year. And he's got a lot of friends here, a lot of vocal support. And this tidal wave of Brazilian emotion is going to carry Gustavo Kuerten and his teammates a long way. Not that Kuerten needs any help. The cheer goes up now as the two players take the respective ends of the court. From our perspective, Gustavo Kuerten at the bottom of the court. That's the southern end of the court.
Silencio, por favor. Obrigado.
A thin, high veil of cloud drawing in from the South Atlantic as we speak. It's the first crook day we've seen in paradise. Well, it's still hot and it's still fine. And perfect conditions, in fact, to play this most important tennis match. Patrick Rafter to serve.
Obrigado.
Perfect start for Pat Rafter. Not appreciated by the locals. Well placed first serve and showing his intentions from the beginning. Says he has to take risks. Interesting ploy there, a show of strength from Rafter serving and volleying the second ball, but you could see how much time Kuerten had to make the return. He stands well behind the baseline. It was a full swing. And there's some food for thought. Slowing down the first ball there with a little bit more topspin. A very thoughtful play right at the beginning. A big kicking second serve. Guga well behind the baseline, followed up with a drop volley. And Kuerten pays the price of playing so far back. Going into the forehand in the second court on the second ball. Kuerten from 4 meters behind the baseline.
You can tell when they go in.
Beautiful one-handed backhand. He started off with a two-fister as a young player.
34.
Good swift move to the net.
40-30, 40-30.
The Brazilian crowd is notorious.
Bolero.
And their behaviour several years ago against Austria cost them a penalty of not being allowed to play a home match for a 2-year period. Since then, in 3 years, they have not lost a match at home.
Just caught the line.
A little hesitation there from Pat. The ball was within reach. A real struggle in the opening game on serve. Rafter making his intentions very clear, sticking with the serve volley. He was there, he chose to let it go. It was a rifling backhand.
Good ace.
Switching up the serve.
Vantage Australia.
Pat has played a pretty flawless game in his opening game and is still struggling to get through. That time, Kuerten 5 metres behind the baseline off the first serve. Again, return bringing the clean winner, beating Rafter by 2 or 3 metres.
Igual.
After struggling on serve at juice second time.
Only 3 first serves in out of 8.
He's got to be thinking whether he's going to stay back on his
Obrigado.
second ball.
Vantage Australia.
Storms in again. Courageous play by the Australian, and that's what you would expect.
Well, Pat said he's going to have to take risks. Oh, Rafter holds serve in the opening game after something of a struggle.
Winner game. First game.
Play best of 2. Play 2 sets, and if it's 1 set all, play a tiebreak.
How important, John Alexander, is the first serve going to be? Is it any less important on this surface?
I think that was a very important game for Pat. He stuck with serving and volleying both first and second balls, and he got through. And Kuerten actually made 2 returning errors, rather bad errors, on the last 2 points. As if there's going to be 2 different sports played here on the Rafter serve volley, and on
Short
the
points, and on the
serve.
Kuerten's longer. Yeah.
15 long.
And this is where Pat realises he's got to take risks and take the ball early and try to force his way to the net. But Guga has big, heavy topspin ground strokes. They go deep. It's hard to make way. But, Gustavo would not like the low slice. Gives an overhead from beyond three-quarter court. Great lob.
30-15.
Just over 6'3" tall. 1.91 meters.
Por favor, desligar los celulares. Obrigado.
Careless error from Gustavo with the ball sliced by Rafter, kept low.
40-30.
And he took the cheap option of trying a drop shot from just round the baseline. Pat taking the guess, covering the forehand side, and Kuerten with lots of time to make his decision.
Igual. 1 game.
A huge welcome from the fans of Florianopolis in Brazil, for our viewers in Melbourne and Perth as you join this match at a game all between Pat Rafter and Gustavo Kuerten. The atmosphere here is electric. It is intense. You can only imagine what it's going to be like if it goes to 4-all in the fifth.
Well, the crowd was warming up for about half an hour before the players came on court. Rafter greeted with a sound round of booing, and the opposite for Kuerten. Kuerten again 4 to 5 meters behind the baseline to give himself more time to return the serve. Even further back then for the return of serve.
Well, Rafter did well to get to that backhand topspin lob, but really had no forceful shot to play off it. And Kuerten just ripped the winner across court.
15-30.
Beautiful quick thinking from Pat Rafter. Return coming off the top of the net. Kuerten that time maybe 6 meters or more behind the baseline for the return of serve. Beautiful racket work right on the line. Difficulties with Pat's serve. The return just hitting the top of the net and going wide. He gets the ball toss over his head, and therefore the slider doesn't ever slide out. It kicks back, checks. That allowed Kuerten to be able to chase that wide one back down.
And that game to Patrick Rafter puts him 2-1 ahead. Leading Gustavo Kuerten 2-1. Good job, Davis Cup selector Alan Stone.
Well, it's a promising start, Gary, but gee, there's a long way to go, and I think Patrick will have to really vary his serving here because it's already looking pretty dangerous when Kuerten's got those big swings on his return. So if he can kick a few wide and bounce them up a bit, I think that'll be his best chance of holding on.
Aha.
And that's the play that Rafter wants to duplicate time and again when he gets the second ball. A chip charge down the line, the short, low slice ball, and a beautiful movement forward and across. Aggressive volley.
The Aussie fanatics are here and they're in good voice, but they're rather overwhelmed because there's only about 50 or 60 of them. And the support group that have travelled all this way to Florianopolis, and they're a bit outgunned by the local fans.
Sorry, 15.
games are coming a bit easier for Kuerten than they are for Rafter at this early stage.
40-15. First service.
Two games all. I would say that although Rafter's confident that he's over this fluid loss problem and electrolyte problem, he's pretty thankful that the weather has turned out today the way it is.
Yes, it's probably the good time of the day to play earlier, and it's quite pleasant overnight. Gets down to the very low 20s, high teens. The hottest and most humid time of the day comes after midday. That was an example of the last point where he's willing to take risks, particularly when he's down 40-15. He's not going to enter into extended rallies from the back of the court unless it's on a very critical point. There's a better slider out wide to the first court, and that's the penalty that Kuerten pays. If he's going to remain so far behind the baseline, it means that he's got to move laterally a greater distance. And Alan Stoney's taking your advice, going with the kicker out wide to the backhand. Serving on the first 2 points from Pat Rafter, taking off a little pace and exploiting the angles.
First service.
Alan, a beautiful variety of serve from Pat this game.
Well, I think he needs to keep it up, doesn't he, J.A.? It's going to be hard to see him being able to do it over 5 sets. I mean, it's working well at the moment, but, you know, the big question is, can he keep it up under this intense pressure that he's going to get from Kuerten and the crowd?
Well, another game there to Rafter with that great variation of serve, and he leads by 3 games to 2.
3 games to 2.
Three games to 2, Australia, and Patrick Rafter, as the hometown boy, Gustavo Kuerten, steps up to serve. Winner of nearly $10 million in tournament prize money, Kuerten. But that's chicken feed. He pretty much owns Brazil. Just inside the baseline.
Clever shot here from Gustavo, but he's doing things he doesn't necessarily like to do. He'd much rather be engaged in baseline rallies from well beyond the back of the court with the ball bouncing high. So Rafter doing a good job of breaking him up, coming off the easiest service game that he's had thus far in the match. 4 first serves. Game at love. Some of the great advantages that Gustavo has, terrific ability to generate pace off both sides.
30-0, Sarilov.
Classic flowing backhand coming over the ball.
attacking 30-15.
Tremendous last 12 months or so, Gustavo Kuerten.
40-15.
Last year won 5 out of 7 finals that he was in, including the French Open and the Masters Cup final. And has already won 2 titles this year, both on clay. Buenos Aires and in Acapulco. And he holds serve again there to make it 3-all.
Pat's asking for the court to be repaired.
Racing wide, 3 games all.
I think the crowd thought he was questioning a service call. That's why they booed.
And a mistake here from the groundsman. You can see where the court has chipped up and there is a big hole in the court. And incorrectly, the groundsman is brushing out the material.
Now he's going to dig it out with a handle.
Oh, got the wrong man for the job and the wrong tool.
Right.
And now he's just going to fill it in with loose.
The net court judge had to rush over and tell him to get it right, what to do.
They have little straight edges that they drag over and drag the loose material into the low areas, and then they've been treading it down. And hard to win the fans over here in Brazil if you're a foreigner, but they're taking exception to Pat wanting the court repaired.
Well, the Australians had voiced concerns about this going back early in the week.
Obrigado. Quince-0, 15 long.
Still struggling, Rafter, to get 50% of first serves in, so he really is reliant on getting variety on it when he does.
The court breaking up, as it does tend to, actually may help Pat and his serving and volleying, because that's with Pat serving and volleying and running around the service line, changing direction, that could actually dig the court up. Provide Kuerten with a more uncertain bounce when he's trying to make the return to serve.
Rafter again getting a serve from the crowd for just testing the surface there around the service line.
Obrigado.
Beautiful volley.
Wonderful combination of serve and volley, deep, heavy kicking serve, and then picking up the volley when it was just about at his feet. Very low dipping return. Wonderful control from Pat, taking advantage of Kuerten being so far behind the baseline. Again, Kuerten possibly 6 meters or more behind the baseline for that forehand return. The other disadvantage of Kuerten being so far back, it gives more time for Rafter to make a good net position. Maybe overplaying that volley, knowing that he's got to hit high quality volleys or Kuerten will deal with it severely.
I've been a little unsighted there, Rafter. He called the ball boy to bring the towel. He's sweat running into the eyes. It might be overcast or thin overcast at the moment, but it's still appreciably hot. Got that one, Rafter, and well serve again. 4 games to 3 in the first set. Four games to 3. Australia and Pat Rafter ahead in this opening rubber. The Davis Cup quarter-final. And it's developing into exactly what we expected. A terrific contest between these two.
Well, one of the fears, Gary, we all have is that if this match is to go 4 or 5 sets and if Pat were to lose it, what does that do to his chances and his form for the doubles tomorrow and singles on the final day?
Obrigado.
That's true, but conversely, a Kuerten loss here would be a bigger blow for Brazil.
Death blow. And that's the play, the perfect play on the first point. That time the slice backhand just centimetres inside the baseline. Rafter quick to the net. Stuns the crowd.
Bolero.
Little pressure on Kuerten now, 3-4, love 15. And missing the first serve. This is where Rafter can do the damage. Good brave attempt by Rafter. He went for it. He didn't hold back at all. It's the more difficult side to chip and charge because the kick serve's taking you wide of the court.
Ace for Kuerten, the first one.
30-15.
Recovered well after losing the opening point. Now 40-15. Tied up, but 4 games all in the opening match. Fans have settled in. Rafter's getting plenty of appreciation from them rather, for his good play. But they don't mind giving it to him either when he shows any indication of being unhappy with the court surface or anything else. And the chant for Guga and Brazil is deafening.
Obrigado. Zero, 15 long. Long.
Not happy with the call. There will be 2 balls. And Pat Rafter much much more comfortable on serve over the last 3 games, and this time, for the first time, Kuerten really looking lost, trying to return the Rafter serve.
And Rafter's first serve percentage up over 50% now and climbing. The ball came straight back at Rafter with tremendous power.
Yes, as soon as Kuerten gets set, he really does generate mighty power, slight topspin. Rafter literally being attacked at the net.
Game Australia.
5 games to 4, Australia.
5-4. 5 games.
Davis Cup quarter-final, Australia and Brazil in Florianopolis on the island of Santa Catarina. Off the coast of Brazil, only just off the coast though. At its narrowest point there's a bridge linking the island to the mainland. The bridge is only about 350, 400 metres long. But in other places it's the bay separating the mainland and the island is 4 or 5 kilometres wide.
Obrigado.
An exotic place as Kuerten serves. Alan Stone, this place is so exotic. I can't understand why the 3rd Davis Cup selector doesn't travel with the team, because our guys have been staying at the most immaculate, unbelievable resort about 40 kilometres out at the northern end of the island. You should have been there.
I should have been, but I'm enjoying it sitting here in Sydney though, Gary, and I must say it's a pretty impressive start from Rafter. And now he's just a couple of points away.
It is, isn't it?
Love 30.
Yes, a real chance at love 30, and Kuerten looking distinctively ill at ease. Low backhand, he was confused as to what to do. He took a punt and paid the price. Good solid forehand from Rafter, just missing the baseline.
15-30.
And that time he would have been willing to rally as long as it took. 15-30. A whistle going off just as Gustavo went to serve.
Still a chance for Rafter here, 15-30. Second serve from Kuerten. Rafter only a few points away perhaps from the first set. No! Stepped around, took it on the forehand and gave it a great whack. Too big a whack.
It's a solid second serve. It came through a little quicker than Pat expected.
30 all.
Gustavo Kuerten remaining cool under pressure.
40-30,
On his
40-30.
first serve right into the backhand corner. Pressure, was content just to slice the ball, trying to keep it low.
A bit tentative, wasn't he, in this exchange, Kuerten?
Yes, that ball very short. And when he finally had a go at the forehand, made the error. A lot to think about now. First serve critical for Kuerten.
Now, it's a set point for Rafter.
That was a beautiful play. Just moving slightly to his left. Serve not pinned into the backhand corner that time. A set point.
Rafter has the first set. Australia lead by 1 set to love. Kuerten and the Brazilian crowd are stunned.
6 games to 4.
Well, what a start. Alan Stone, this is just what John Fitzgerald and yourself, Wally Mercer, must have dreamed of when you settled on the final selections for the team and when you saw the draw come out with Rafter to play Kuerten.
Well, on paper, Rafter's game measures up better against Kuerten than Leighton Hewitt's does, because Leighton is pretty much going to play from the back of the court, which is what Kuerten likes. What he doesn't like is being rushed and having to play a lot of quick points in his matches. He likes, with those big ground strokes, the big swings, to be able to take time to set it up. And Rafter's really playing a wonderful blend here of mixture on his serve, and then the drop volleys and the drop shots, I think, are bothering Kuerten also, because, as J.A. said, I've never seen anybody stand quite so far behind the baseline to return a second serve, and he may have to just vary that a little as the match progresses, particularly if he doesn't get on top early in this second set.
Yes, well, he stands back because he likes to take full swings on both the forehand and the backhand. And Pat has played a very sound tactic in varying the play so beautifully. Interestingly, Alan, they were just watering the court. Not just sweeping it, but watering the court.
I've never seen.
And the referee has total discretion over these issues, and he has said that basically they will water and sweep and repair the court as necessary. I wouldn't have thought it was necessary after 1 set, so that's going to be an interesting situation for Rafter. His serve will be slowed down first game.
But keep in mind the tendency we've seen for it to break up in a few places, and Rafter drew attention to that during the first set. Maybe they feel just a light water might help to keep it compacted down and stop the breakup. Anyway, Kuerten shaking his head as he stands and waits for Rafter to come out. The Brazilians under the gun in the opening match. Rafter having taken the first set, 6 games to 4.
Sentarse, por favor. Silencio, por favor. Segundo set.
In about 45 minutes. I didn't run a clock on it, but around about 45 minutes. And there's a silence, a real silence in the crowd now as Rafter steps up to serve. Australia leading 1 set to love.
First service.
Gustavo is going to look at the court. This will stir up the crowd when Gustavo goes and looks at the bounce.
If it bounced on the line, yeah, he's happy. It's only got to just touch the line to be in. Great cross-court pass from Kuerten. Rafter at full stretch couldn't handle it.
Rafter taking advantage of Kuerten being so far behind the baseline, getting an extra metre in closer to the net. And position is all important for the first volley. About 2, maybe 3 metres inside the service line when he made contact with the volley.
or 12,000 people here in this temporary stadium, although they are going to develop a permanent facility on this site now, and well they should.
Again, Rafter going with the short volley. Wasn't quite a drop volley, just played well inside the service line, down the line, exploiting the extremity. Kuerten way behind the baseline, out wide. No way of chasing that one down. Thoughtful tennis from Pat Rafter.
Sorry, mate. Actually, there were fans coming in here today with T-shirts specially printed up with "Sorry, mate" on the front of them. Great reply from Kuerten.
That time Kuerten up on the baseline, taking the ball early. Moving forward for the return. Great return. A wild ball toss. Pat having a little trouble with releasing the ball.
Great serve. Picked up off the line. Among the 11 or 12,000 people here in the stadium, there are about 100 Australians. The Fanatics support group, about 50 of them. Plus, of course, the Australian team and their support staff. 2 or 3 of Patrick's brothers are here. His girlfriend, Lara Feltham. Jeff Pollard, the president of Tennis Australia, of course, his wife. Half a dozen of us from the 7 Network, and about a half dozen people from the Australian diplomatic contingent up in Brasilia. It's about 2 hours north of here. They've come down for the match as well.
Again, Kuerten.
About 2 hours north of here. They've come down for the match as well.
Again, Kuerten playing up closer to the baseline, playing a more aggressive return. Serve volley. Pat struggling at juice as he did in the first game of the first set.
Well, Kuerten really slapping himself down the thigh. Went for the big shot there, the backhand down the line. He needs to put the pressure, keep the pressure on Rafter here in the opening game, having lost the first set. Got to retrieve the position as quickly as he can, if he can. What a shot!
Well, Pat looks up, he is astounded. That was the serve he wanted. He got it short, he kicked it out wide. Kuerten went 2 postcodes away to hit that ball back.
It was 2 metres behind the baseline and about 4 metres wide of the doubles line.
That is a long way out of court. And I think Pat's got to say, when you can do that, you are. Again, Pat coming up with the slider and Kuerten paying the price for standing so far behind the baseline and slapped the ball away. He is feeling the pressure. He's one of the coolest competitors on the World Tour, Gustavo Kuerten.
Game. Patrick Rafter, after a real struggle, but an important one. 1 set to love and 1 game to love, Australia. So a little run of games here for Rafter to take him through to the conclusion of the first set, and holding serve here at the beginning of the second. And the run of play is against Kuerten at the moment. Doesn't matter how hard you have to struggle, as long as you struggle and win, and that's what Rafter's done in that last game. And the crowd now getting behind him vocally on every point, Kuerten.
It's interesting when Kuerten is drawn in, he's nowhere near as comfortable. That ball did hit the centre service line.
Yeah, he played it very awkwardly.
He did look awkward. Can't take his full swing from half court there. And, well, not bad at the net, nowhere near as comfortable as when he's a long way behind the baseline. Baseline exchange, Pat looking more and more comfortable. This time Guga expressing his disgust with the surface. But he got a bad bounce there. And you normally don't see him niggly like this.
Another double. Deuce. Well, he's normally not at his best early in the day, and that was one of the things that John Fitzgerald was happy about when the draw panned out this way. You remember in Brisbane, he was very out of sorts in the mornings. And one day they had to actually hold up start of play for about 10 minutes for him to get himself together and get out on the court.
Rafter really rattling his cage early in the second set. Australia has won the first at 6-4. And it's break point.
Break here would be just fantastic development. And he's got it. Australia breaks and leads by 2 games to love and by 1 set to love.
Kuerten's game is crumbling. Easy backhand, just mistimed dreadfully and just halfway up the net. Guga gives rather a limp smile. He is struggling. And now Rafter, a set and a break up. 2-love in the second set. And Kuerten is a formidable competitor. Beautiful full backhand from well beyond the baseline. Hasn't always been successful for Gustavo from the first court.
A lot of tennis to be played yet, Alan Stone, but this is a dream start for Rafter at Australia.
Well, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's more than I think we all could have hoped for, that he'd come out and win the first set and then get an early break in the second. I mean, an absolute key game here. If he can hang on and then get to the chair to sit down at 3-love up. I mean, surprisingly, it's Kuerten who's feeling the pressure out here.
Yes, I absolutely agree, Alan. You don't normally see him snatching at the ball or complaining about bad bounces. And he is feeling the niggle. Serve straight down the centre, sliding away that time for Pat.
Serve percentage getting quite respectable now for Rafter. Just the 1 double fault from him. And, Gee, he's close to establishing real control in this match. Oh.
Well, that was a real pity because that was a good slider right close to the line. Not Rafter's best serve by a long way. He's a natural kicker of the serve. A little bit of luck for the Australian. He apologises sincerely.
So, game point here for 3-love.
That's where Pat might be changing direction as his foot digs in to change direction. The court breaks up. Court hasn't been down long enough to really bind and set.
Crowd said there's a little bit of gamesmanship.
Hatches. A critical game now for Australia to consolidate the break that was hard earned in the previous game.
Brazilian bench, Kuerten's teammates, they rise as one there. A chance for Kuerten to get back. Break point against Rafter. Kuerten breaks back. 2-1 Australia. Second set, Rafter took the first, 6-4.
It's not evil. It's not scary. Here, kitty, kitty.
It's Dr. Evil's.
The crowd enlivened once more with Kuerten breaking back. They were stunned almost into silence, but it's pretty difficult to silence a crowd like this. They are certainly vocal. They certainly wear their hearts on their sleeve. That's if they've got any sleeves. So Rafter, 2-1, had the advantage of the break, has given it back, and Kuerten now serving, looking for 2-all in the second set, but he can't take the first set back. That belongs to Australia. I mentioned Kuerten, the winner of 5 titles last year, including the French and the Masters Cup final. Already the winner of 2 titles this year. Rafter's had just 1 title win in the last 18 months. That was at Rosmalen on grass in the Netherlands last year. But of course he was in the finals at Wimbledon, semi-finals early this year at the Australian Open. semi-finals again just last week at the Masters Series tournament in Miami, losing to Andre Agassi. In fact, Rafter and Leighton Hewitt both semi-finals last week in Miami.
Questioning the call, he's having a look. He can't make up his mind by this stage.
He wants Andres Egli to look at it. He's out of the chair, he's there, and it's out. He agrees with Rafter.
Kuerten obeying the call.
Oh, that was a good serve from Kuerten, wasn't it? So, 2 games all.
And a nice, comfortable game for Kuerten then at 15. And Pat just lapsing after a very consolidated effort throughout the first set and first 2 games of the second. Time to reassert. 2 games all, second set. Australia won the first 6 games to 4.
Great reply from Kuerten. Big looping forehand.
Kuerten way behind the baseline, 5 or 6 meters, giving him time, and this time it pays off. Full swing on the forehand return.
Kuerten's personal coach, Larry Passos, is also the coach for this Brazilian Davis Cup team. He's been Kuerten's coach since he was 12 years of age. Right from the outset of his tennis career. Oh, only just missed.
Even though this volley missed, you could see that Google was a long way from being settled and wouldn't have been making a very good attempt at the passing shot. Pat just pushing a bit too much on the volley.
Well, if he was shaken, and he was, after losing the first set and going down a break at the start of the second, Kuerten's got the confidence back.
This was the trend early in the first set when Pat had to fight so hard to hang on to serve. Beautiful
Good work out for the shoulder.
Beautiful high backhand volley. Very strong there now. The shoulder that was operated on.
Those statistics on screen just showing that you can win points at the net, as Rafter's doing, even on clay. And he holds serve here to lead 3-2 in the second. What a contest. It's been up and down for both players, but down for Kuerten when he lost the first set 6-4. But the fight back that he staged since losing the second game of the second set has been typical Kuerten.
Rafter at least forcing Kuerten to play here. Good slice backhand down the line. Just with enough time to get set, but he's got to make the shot. He just gets one crack at it. That's what makes Kuerten feel a little uncomfortable. I much prefer to have several shots in a rally. Beautiful play from Pat Rafter. Kuerten lingering into the backhand corner after the second serve. Diametrically the opposite direction came the drop shot.
Rafter looks to the heavens, a near miss. Good attacking play by Rafter. Deep into the court and followed in quickly behind.
Rafter really troubling Kuerten even in the baseline rallies now.
Everything was perfect for Rafter.
Striking the ball beautifully from the back of the court there. He had the better of this rally, more aggressive than Kuerten from the back of the court, and he really pressed with his backhand down the line, just catching the top of the net. And Gustavo's got a lot to think about, a lot to contend with. Matching him from the back of the court, and, he's got the peril of the serve volley from Rafter.
Scioli, the Brazilian coach, was on his feet applauding. And at 3 games all, Alan Stone, you just knew that he was going to fight back, but you've got to hand it to Kuerten. He's tough.
Oh, he certainly is, but pleased to see that Rafter didn't panic there when he lost the service break when he led 2-love. I think he would expect that somewhere along the line in this match he's going to lose a couple of service games, I mean, such as the quality of the Kuerten ground strokes, but he didn't let it bother him, and he came back and held his next serve, and he's really right in this match here. It's just been a tremendous performance from him so far. Let's hope he can keep it up.
shots from Kuerten. After full stretch, trying to regain the centre of the court, wrong-footed back down the line. Beautifully controlled volley again from Pat, under pressure. Forcing Kuerten to go the diagonal of the court from deep right to short left. Tantalising volley just into the open court. Feel the tension. Double faults sneaking in the third game. When Pat was broken, there was 2 double faults. Kept the pressure up on serve.
There's that high backhand again.
This is just a wonderful shot. Flipping it across court. And keeping Kuerten off balance.
Skimmed the net and landed in.
Nobody could have hit a better second serve than that. It was deep, kicking and wide. Kuerten from well beyond the baseline and the sideline comes up with the most incredible backhand off the top of the net. A little bit of luck for the Brazilian. Rafter at juice. Pat continuing with the tactic and serving and volleying both first and second serve. That one into the body of Gustavo. They persist with the big swing on the return of serve. No compromise by either player. They're still going at it head to head.
First serve percentage mightn't be as high as he'd like, Pat Rafter, but you've got to be thankful the second serve is working as well as it has been. It's a bit tight here, isn't it?
And it looks like he's going for a racket change.
Yep.
Time for a racket change.
Any time's a good time if you win the following point, I guess. Which he doesn't do.
Pat just pressing a little bit too much on the volley. So aware of Kuerten's ability to make passing shots on anything that is mediocre. Again, Pat fighting on serve on the northern end.
Now the chant goes up again for Guga.
Brasil. Silencio, por favor. Obrigado.
Oh, he's missed it. Oh, Rafter, you're a genius. He made a couple of tough volleys back-to-back there to keep himself in the point, and Kuerten's made the mistake.
Picks up the half volley from the service line, and Rafter was sitting there at dead duck. He made the right guess, and Kuerten a little frustrated at Rafter's luck in guessing right. This is a very makeable forehand down the line.
That's not luck, that's genius. He's a hell of a tennis player, this Kuerten.
And Rafter going with a swinger wide on the first court. Kuerten coming up with the goods. This match is heating up. What a match. Break point. Australia 3-all in the second set. We won the first set 6-4.
Just rolled way out of court after the break to Brazil and to Gustavo Kuerten after being down the early break. Now leads 4-3 in the second set. This stadium is absolutely shaking. It's a massive temporary structure, the lacework of scaffolding, and when the crowd is in full voice and on their feet, the whole thing just vibrates under you. And we're on the very top level.
It's a long way to fall, Gary.
Well, Kuerten with a break. Serving now, 4-3. Rafter attacking, just not doing enough with the volley and leaving it open for Kuerten down the line. Command at the net. A lot of byplay in the stands here in Florianopolis between the local crowd, all 11,000 of them, and the 50 or so Aussie fanatics. Well, there are 100 or so Aussies, but one solid group of the fanatics supporters. But every time they wave a flag or fly a kangaroo or stand up to cheer for Rafter, they just get swamped by the local supporters and those chanting Guga. Guga serves 5-4, second set.
Did well to dig that one back. Had to make the guess, and Guga sees Rafter move. Very close. Rafter going to have a look.
Andre Zegley's out of the chair.
And Rafter's conceding.
It's good.
Very, very close. A little bit of luck. Gee, that looks, on replay, it looks wide. But the bounce mark must have shown that it just caught the edge of the line. A little bit of luck for Kuerten.
2 points from the second set. Set points.
And Rafter going with the drop shot on the return of serve. It's a thundering second ball.
Webley.
One set all.
6-4. Un set igual. One set all.
Aussie fanatics, small group of them there at the court side. As we now pick up on Ricardo Asioli talking earnestly to Kuerten. He says, right, we're back, son. We're a set all. I know it was a shock losing the first set, but it's an even contest from here. And John Fitzgerald will be saying exactly the same thing to Pat Rafter.
There's quite a bit of conjecture prior to the match beginning, prior to the series beginning, whether Rafter should be playing all 3 days in view of what happened in Barcelona with the cramping, and again during the Australian Open against Agassi, whether he wouldn't be better off rested on the first day and then kept fresh for the doubles and the singles on the final day. Well,
Alan Stone, you're the third selector. What were your views on that matter?
Oh, well, it was a bit of chopping and changing really on the best way to go, but I think in the end you've got to try to play your ace cards at the start and try and establish a lead, if you like, and then force the others to actually beat you. I mean, had we let Rafter wait until the 5th rubber, we might have lost 3-1 perhaps, and then Pat Rafter might not have played a live singles match if we were 1-1 and didn't win the doubles or something, and then Hewitt may have lost. You know, you look at those things, and Rafter we may have saved him, but in the end for no reason.
It's a gamble whichever way you go.
Pat is sweating freely, as he always does, very hot, humid conditions, but he seems to be travelling very well. Shorts absolutely saturated.
But no clock on the court here, and only a very rudimentary scoreboard. But by my calculation, 50 minutes for that second set.
Gustavo really looking awkward when he was asked to move up then for the drop volley, for the drop shot halfway through the exchange from the baseline. In many ways still commanding this match.
Almost lost his footing in the slide there as he went to play it. There's the high bat. It's 3. That's 3, and they've been superb.
That's as good as anybody's ever hit that shot. A total disdain. Just flicked away on the angle. Unplayable. Good opening game in this third set for Rafter.
Just missed that one. But this is almost as strong a service game as Rafter's had.
Overplaying the volley. At 40 love, you can afford some error.
First game, third set to Rafter and Australia. It's 1 set all.
Play best of 2. Play 2 sets, and if it's 1 set all, play a tiebreak.
A little over 6'3", as John Alexander said, Gustavo Kuerten. When he was 9 years old, his father asked Larry Passos to coach him, and Passos refused because he was such a weak, puny, scrawny little boy. His father, Aldo, died of a heart attack while umpiring a tennis match when Gustavo was 10. And a year or so later, Larry Passos thought, well, maybe I should do something here. And he took Gustavo under his wing and has had him there ever since.
It's had its rewards, hasn't it, Gary? In 1998, when Stover won in Stuttgart, won a Mercedes-Benz, he gave it to his coach.
Well, he deserves it. He's done a great job.
Hard to gift wrap the prize like that,
though. But against all the odds, it turned out he had some real talent to work with. Beautifully struck, but just out. So Kuerten coming back with just as strong a game. A love game for Kuerten. 1-all.
1 game all.
Rafter says, I want to have a look at all the balls, thanks. Don't just throw me two. I'll decide which ones I'm going to use.
Obrigado.
Perfect serve volley combination. Catching the line of both the serve and the volley, and then getting back up for the smash, putting it away very safely.
15-0, 15 long. First service. First service. King 30-15. Kuerten King 40-15.
He's mixed up the serve superbly, Rafter. Caught Kuerten a few times with that ace down the middle. Almost had him again. Had him that time. That's the game. It's 2-1 Australia in the third.
At Demir Leather, save up to 50% on fully imported Italian leather lounges. Plus, with every lounge suite, get a matching ottoman free. Save up to 50% and get an ottoman worth $650 free. Offers limited. Demir Leather, Auburn, Chatswood, East Sydney.
For safer holiday driving, oops, get Bridgestone's experts to fit donuts. Tyres that'll stop you sooner. And the sooner you fit them, the better. Talk about donuts to the experts at your Bridgestone Tyre Centre.
His genius.
Undeniable.
I'll help you catch him, Clary.
You know who he is, don't you?
His evil.
Unspeakable.
His name, Hannibal.
Hannibal the Cannibal.
Winner of 5 Academy Awards, including Best Actor,
Anthony Hopkins,
Best Actress,
Jodie Foster,
and Best Film.
He won't come after me.
The original thriller, digitally remastered, The Silence of the Lambs. Tonight on 7.
Two games to 1 in the third set. 4 aces to Rafter, 2 to Kuerten. Double faults 4-3 in favour. Well, if in favour is the right term for Kuerten. First serve percentages favouring the Brazilian, just a little higher than Patrick Rafter, but not as high as either of them would like.
Kuerten serving. Chance now for Rafter to forge ahead. Kuerten starting with a double fault.
His 5th.
He was broken in the 10th game of the first set. He started that game with a double fault. Kuerten made a crisis call there. Rafter getting on the attack with the backhand. He was going to come in, and Kuerten decided to go for the winner there and then. Courageous play from the Brazilian. After only taken a metre or 2 inside the baseline. That was at love 15. 15 all.
That's out. Yep, it's out.
Game 15, sorry.
So now Rafter with a real chance. Kuerten looking rather ill at ease, almost angry. Couldn't guess the right way, but pushed it over the baseline. Rafter always struggling that point. The serve bounce uneven. Survives 15-30. Looked a little bit tense at that stage. Not just going to the side of the court to towel down for this game. A little word with John Fitzgerald, the new captain, facing John Newcombe.
White, please. Bolero. Zero, 15.
Tremendous serve from Pat Rafter, pinning it close to the line and kicking it wide. There's the combination, deep, thundering first serve, followed by a delicate angled volley. Deep and then short, taking advantage of the fact that Kuerten is playing so far behind the baseline. And Rafter apparently easy on serve.
Australia. Bolas nuevas, new ball.
Small businesses told us they wanted simpler and easier quarterly business activity statement reporting. So we've responded. And you now have some choices. Of course, if you're okay with the way you've been doing your BAS so far, you can carry on just the same way. But you can choose to do it a different way. Every quarter, just return the BAS form and pay an instalment amount advised by the tax office. And after the end of the year, do an annual GST return. If you have a small business and lodge a quarterly BAS, the tax office is sending you a letter explaining these choices. And look out for your copy of the next edition of the BAS Basics booklet to find out about the changes in more detail. This has been sent to you, or you can pick one up at most newsagents and banks. Call the tax office on 13 24 78 if you have any questions, or visit the website.
Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
Kuerten now at 2-3. He'd like his first serve percentage to be up at least a half dozen points too. Struggling a bit. Rafter's serve, although if the percentage is not high, has been terribly effective.
61% is not bad considering how much he's pressing on the first serve. And the other good thing for Pat serving, his second serve has been so outstanding. Has served a few double faults, but that's fair enough when you consider how much he's been going for.
Zero, 15 love. For service.
Oh, what a great shot. Hooked it, dipping sharply cross court. It was make or break from Rafter, this one.
15 all. Kentucky, 30-15.
This time, Rafter getting the better of the baseline exchange, standing up closer to the baseline, taking the ball earlier, getting the angle across court for the winner. And it's Kuerten in trouble on serve.
He lofted that one, Kuerten.
It's a tough shot to make a high percentage of time. The topspin backhand lob. He'd gone wide to the forehand, trying to stop Rafter from chipping and charging, and this way rewarded with break point. Now second serve, Kuerten in trouble.
Yes, little net cord in it.
Australia.
But it gives the break to Rafter. Well, you've got to have a little bit of luck.
4 games to 2.
Beautifully struck backhand passing shot from Pat Rafter. He was under pressure. Kuerten was forced to attack. Rafter drawing him to the net. Now it's Rafter. Set all 4-2 with a break and serving. With his cap on.
Silencio, por favor.
Great stretch from Rafter.
It's a great combination. Deep to the backhand. As Kuerten moves to his left to gain the central position, Rafter goes on the angle at full stretch. Second serve from Pat, blistering return. Enormous second serve. Really is getting down to the nitty-gritty. So often in a 5-set match, the player who wins the 3rd set wins the match. By surprise, wide on the second ball with the forehand.
Sorry, 15.
Double fault for Rafter.
34. Sorry.
Beautiful.
And that's the combination that served him so well. Deep, penetrating first serve, backed up with a short volley. Kuerten 5 meters behind the baseline, not in the hunt.
A late call fault, but no argument from anybody. And Rafter consolidates his position here in the third set and leads by 5 games to 2. It's 1 set all.
5 games.
Come to the big bog-off sale at the Lighting Warehouse Auburn.
Bog-off?
Yeah, bog-off. Buy one, get one free. Have a look at these. Exterior coach lights, $49 while stocks last. Buy one, get one free. Martech pull cord ceiling fan, $119. Buy one, get one free. Batten fixed lights, $10 while stocks last. Buy one, get one free. So don't miss the big bog-off sale only at the Lighting Warehouse, 290 Parramatta Road, Auburn, on the south side of Parramatta Road behind 40 Winks, where you can buy a light and get one free.
The hottest band in the world is about to touch down in Australia. Kiss. The biggest rock and roll act on the planet on their farewell tour. Kiss, plus the Screaming Jets, April 7, and now a final show, April 8 at the Superdome. Tickets on sale now at Ticketek. You got to have a party.
It's a florid day in Florianopolis. Not the same baking sunshine we've had for the past 4 or 5 days here. Thin, high overcast, just taking the edge off conditions, but still very hot and just a little bit humid. About 29, 30 degrees at the moment. It's certainly taking its toll, but in fact, these are the best conditions Rafter could have hoped for this opening match against Kuerten.
Well, strangely enough, Pat has played his best tennis in these types of condition during the American summer, leading up to the US Open, hot, humid conditions, similar to his hometown.
In 0, 15 long.
Pressure on Kuerten here, isn't there?
Wide. 15 on.
Nice little chip down the line from Rafter. No power on it, and I think that's what brought Kuerten undone. Looking very disconsolate as he steps back up to the service line. 15-30. More into that as he needs to. He's in a hole here, Kuerten.
34. Sorry.
Thought of going in, even though he didn't get much of the ball.
40-30, 40-30
from Kuerten.
Hasn't got the game yet.
So that's an improved shot from Pat.
Forehand
return of serve, short backswing, just flicks it down the line.
That was out at set point Rafter.
This is a crucial game for Australia to secure this third set and have Rafter serving first game of the fourth. It's a big swing if you can get this point.
Kuerten. Kuerten survives the set point and holds serve, but it's Rafter leading by 5 games to 3, and now he'll serve for the third set.
Australia gana 5-3. 5 games to 3.
Nervous twitch of the legs there. John Fitzgerald sitting in the chair at courtside.
His first match was quite a comfortable one. Played at Royal Kings Park in Perth against Ecuador. Now this is as tough as it gets in Davis Cup, playing in Brazil against the world's best. That's a tough game for Rafter. Have to fight so often on serve.
5th ace by my count.
Struggling for a 2-set-to-1 lead. Kuerten comes up with the goods. Consecutive backhands across court. After thinking he might have gone down the line on the second one, he's moved to the right. He's wrong-footed.
Kings equal, 15-all.
Pressure tells on Rafter. Maybe a shoulder-high forehand volley. He hit it solidly, just caught the top of the net. Chance, it's 15-30.
15-30. Silencio, por favor.
That's missed.
Now the set point in the previous game. There's appearing to be a real opportunity missed. It's always on the cards. Try just wide. 2 break-back points for Brazil.
Por favor. Obrigado.
To get down and have a look.
Silencio, por favor.
Kuerten breaks back. Rafter had a set point in the previous game, but Kuerten would not be denied, and riding a wave of enormous support from the crowd here, breaks back. It's 5-4.
So fresh, the hits of autumn 2001. 20 fresh hits on one cool CD. New music from the world's hottest acts. So many hits. So fresh. Get the best. Get so fresh. It's the freshest yet.
Kids and car travel. It can be a nightmare. Not now that the Kids Auto Organiser has arrived. It installs in seconds, and it's great for holding all the things that keep kids happy. Snacks, toys and travel games. The fantastic Kids Auto Organiser.
To create exceptional performance. Design technology. Kumo.
It happens a dozen times in every match, a tale of what might have been and what might have been in this third set in these last 2 games for Rafter. Set point to go to a lead of 2-1 against Kuerten, but just couldn't grab the chance. And now Kuerten has broken back and steps up to serve in a bid to level the set at 5-all.
Silencio, por favor. Todos son prontos. Obrigado.
Well, Alan Stone, there's some real pressure here on Patrick Rafter now. The opportunity was there for him.
Yes, it was, and full marks to Kuerten, but it's really an enthralling contest, this, isn't it? Exactly what we thought it'd be, with Rafter just all over the net, and Kuerten with the passing shots. It's just a tremendous performance, I think, from Pat Rafter under really difficult circumstances. I think he's really got to be commended, the way he's playing, the way he's concentrating, he's blocking out all the distractions and the noise, and he's putting up a great performance here.
Not easy to block it out either, I can tell you.
Kings, 30-15.
Good return from Rafter off a difficult serve. He's hanging in. And just 2 points from this third and vital set.
Please.
Oh, no, can you believe the luck? The ball practically had to grow claws and climb over the net.
Oh, that really was a lucky ball. So close to having another set point for Australia, but we are denied.
40-30. Obrigado.
Oh, he's overhit the forehand. That's game to Kuerten. It's 5-all.
Rafter goes to the side of the court, changes rackets, and he's just looking a little somber now at the lost opportunities. That's 3-5 on Kuerten's serve when he had the set point. Now 5-all, 1 set all. Kuerten looking as comfortable as he has in this entire match. A lot of pressure on him, a lot of expectation for him to win. As he said in the press conference, no thought of the possibility of losing.
15-0, 15 loss. Por favor.
It was almost a great drop shot, but Kuerten moved quickly, just got there.
15-0.
Just trying to bump the ball, Rafter. Just not positive enough.
Well, sometimes in that short part of the court where the players have moved around a lot, you get some bad bounces, particularly on the softer shots.
Obrigado.
This time Rafter was the man in the right place. Called a fault. It looked good. Andres Egli out of the chair again. Kuerten striding to the scene. And what's he called?
Yes, it's going to be called good. Appeared to get at least half the line. A bad break for Pat Rafter. Just catching half the line there. Side edge.
Overran the ball there, Rafter.
Treinta 40. 30-40. Obrigado. Silencio, por favor. Por favor.
Andres Egli struggling for control here. Well, Rafter a little tentative about that. There was a blast from a trumpet.
And John Fitzgerald trying to get the eye of the umpire, because that is unacceptable behaviour from the crowd. Blowing a trumpet just as Rafter is making contact on the second ball.
He got away with the point. That's what counts there. Trying down the middle, but trying too hard. Well wide. Good volley. It's a great pressure valve, that volley, isn't it?
Short and angled.
Well, Rafter hangs in. It's 6 games to 5. Australia ahead in the third set and 1 set all.
6 games to 5.
Schooner of new, thanks.
Sorry, mate. No dogs allowed.
That's a guide dog, mate.
Guide dog? Guide dogs are either German Shepherds or Labradors.
What have they given me?
Oh, give that man a new.
You can earn a great living as a private investigator. The private inquiry industry is so diverse. Family law, surveillance, corporate, missing persons, government, undercover. Full-time, part-time, you can do it.
Call now, 1-800-445-454.
Did you know we still owe $181,000 on our mortgage? There has got to be a better way.
You can save more than you borrowed on your mortgage and pay it off in as little as a quarter of the time.
That sounds like what we need.
HomeSec Home Loans, 1300 134 600.
Oh, what a match of fluctuating fortunes here, particularly in the last few games between Rafter and Kuerten. A break up, Rafter led 4-2, then 5-2. He had a set point against Kuerten's serve in the 8th game and was so close to taking Australia to a lead of 2-1, and that would have really put Kuerten and the Brazilians under the gun. But full marks to Kuerten. Got the break back, and he's redoubled the pressure on Rafter. Had a break point in that previous game, Kuerten, and Rafter a little bit lucky to hold on to lead 6-5.
Rafter just appearing to be feeling the pinch a little bit. Struggling to get to that wide backhand.
Set it off.
Oh, what a reply. Tremendous return, Rafter. Stepping out wide. Pick up a good serve from Kuerten. Sharp angle. Tension getting to the crowd here, almost breathless during these short rallies, and then exploding when the point goes in Kuerten's favour. And when he serves up his second ace for the game, 6 games all, we've got a tie-break to decide this third set. Rafter very deliberate in his movements at the other end of the court, taking his time.
Obrigado.
Played to perfection. Short volley.
1-0.
Easy cross-court ball. First point to Australia.
Going up on every point now as though he's won the match, Kuerten. But it's a long way from that eventuality. Two points to 1. Points going with serve in the tie-break so far.
After being forced to work at the back of the court, covering a lot of ground. Hot, humid conditions.
Third set in progress, 48 minutes.
2-1, Brazil. Silencio, por favor.
Yeah, too good. First point against the serve, against Rafter. Kuerten 3-1.
Time it's Kuerten who's got the fine touch on the drop shot. He delicately played. Rafter stuck way behind the baseline.
Obrigado. Silencio, por favor. Molto obrigado.
Kuerten. And it's impossible to hear yourself think here at this arena.
4-1, Brazil.
It's 5 points in a row to Kuerten. Rafter won the opening point in the tie-break, but it's been all the Brazilians since then. The stands reverberate
King home, 5-1,
the
Brazil.
chant of Guga and Brazil, 5-1. They go up again at 6-1. Kuerten, a clutch of set points.
Home, 6-1, Brazil. Silencio, por favor. Obrigado. Por favor. Muito obrigado.
That's it. A third set to Kuerten. In 51 minutes, it went to the tie-break. Rafter had a set point way back at 5-3, but Kuerten has prevailed. Brazil 2-1.
Surprise yourself at Fantastic Furniture with top quality stylish timber blinds from just $49.
That's fantastic.
Compare what you're offered elsewhere. Fantastic Furniture's blinds are made of solid hardwood with extra wide 50mm slats and 12 months warranty. These have to be the best value timber blinds on the market today.
That's fantastic.
A huge range of widths and drops to suit most window sizes in stock right now from just $49. So easy to install yourself, you can have them up today.
That's fantastic.
Recreational shades offer protection from the harsh summer sun. Recreational shades for your home, your swimming pool, barbecue area or carport. For all year-round protection, call for a site inspection. Fully engineered structures installed starting from only $1,900. Recreational shade structures offer up to 98% UV protection. Call now for an inspection with easy finance available. To take advantage of our special offers, call Recreational Shades on 02 9214 2961. We're waiting for your call now.
Light Up Hurstville's renovation sale is on now. Halogen downlights from $15.90, complete with globe and Atco transformer. 3-in-1 bathroom heater, $109. Halogen table lamps, $39. Buy one, get one free. 30cm alabaster oyster lights, $29. Buy one, get one free. 32-watt circular fluorescence with Philips globe, $59. Buy one, get one free. Plus a huge range of crystal chandeliers at unbelievable prices. Hurry, don't miss the renovation sale, only at Light Up.
2-1. Gustavo Kuerten over Pat Rafter. It was so close to being 2-1 Australia, Alan Stone. It's going to be a big, big effort required from Rafter now.
Yes, it certainly is. It's in the end, you've really got to take the chances when they present themselves, and he played well enough to put himself into a winning position, even early in the second set when he had 2 love and served a couple of doubles there, Patrick, when he hadn't served any doubles up until that point. And then 5-3 and set point and serve for the set at 5-4. So he's had the chances and just hasn't quite been able to put Kuerten away when he's had him on the ropes. And you can see him sitting there now. Just looks a little despondent. Very tough assignment to come back and beat Kuerten now from 2-1 down with this big crowd right behind Kuerten.
Yeah, it is. It's tough. I mean, John Fitzgerald is sitting there on the court side. The Australian contingent immediately behind him in the front row of the stand. But even so, they feel pretty lonely out there in this kind of atmosphere.
How do you think his physical condition's holding up, Alan?
Well, I think it looks okay at the moment. He's just jogging up and down there. You know, he's moving pretty well. It looks okay to me.
I felt that he was really starting to feel the pinch towards the end of that third set, possibly even in the game at 3-5 when he had the set point. It's very hot and humid.
Very low. Wet piece.
Kuerten waiting for the ball boy to return to his assigned position on the court. Easy first game for Gustavo Kuerten in the fourth set, just what he'd want.
Cambia bolas. Primer game, cuarto set. New ball.
Play best of two. Play 2 sets, and if it's 1 set all, play a tiebreak.
And all that tension that was building in the crowd when Gustavo Kuerten was down the set point at 5-3 to Rafter in the third set. It's dissipated now, and we're back to the carnival atmosphere. They're in a happy mood, a jovial mood, and they will be as long as Gustavo's in front. Rafter. Tough assignment now. Where are all the balls, says Rafter. What am I doing? I want them all.
A few balls are a little bit slow coming out.
Zero kings, love 15. Igual, 15 on.
I don't know if you spotted it, but Rafter was just leaning on his racket, using it as a crutch to steady himself there before he went to serve that last ball.
Yeah, we're always worried about him, and I'm not sure his left leg hasn't been tightening up over the last 4 or 5 games. The double fault that he conceded the tiebreaker with was certainly because he couldn't get up for the ball. I hate to say it, but that's what he complained about against Agassi. His legs were cramping and he couldn't serve. Certainly looked very, very ginger there after the serve. He has had a long history of cramps, firstly at Wimbledon in the mid-90s against Sergi Bruguera in the 5th set, and then more recently in Barcelona in the Davis Cup final and against Andre Agassi at the Australian. Often complains after matches when he gets into a car that his legs tend to cramp.
And I notice John Fitzgerald just looking back over his shoulder and having an earnest conversation with the Australian team contingent in the front row behind him.
And he's just standing there and going for winners, which is another indication that he could be really tightening up. He hit that ball and made no effort to recover. Fortunately, it did go for a winner.
15 igual, 15 all. Again, 30-15.
And walking a little bit stiffly with his left leg after the missed backhand.
Igual, 30 all. Igual,
Yes, it was right on the line from Kuerten. Perfectly played.
Rodada, Brazil.
Kuerten leads 2-1 and by 2 games to 1 in the 4th set.
Meet the FBI agent married to her job.
This is a really big day for me. Nobody better spoil it.
And the cop.
Get out of my way!
Who might be her perfect match. Sunday, they're teaming up to nail the world's richest thief.
I would never sell out my clients, but talk fast, I'll listen.
Lithgow, Sutherland, Carrera.
How dare you!
Bringing down the mob could be dangerous. Surviving each other will be murder. Hollow Point premieres Sunday 8:30 on 7.
The Auto Alley legends are on fire this weekend. Cars, finance, trade-ins, choice, and the best deals you can get at Terry Shields Toyota, at Thompson Ford, at Boyd and Holland, at Parramatta Mitsubishi.
People are talking about the most powerful film of the year. And now, Traffic has won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Director, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Adapted Screenplay. Traffic.
Oh, we don't want to build a drama that doesn't exist necessarily here in Florianopolis, but as Pat Rafter went back to the chair on this changeover, John Fitzgerald had a rapid conversation with the referee, Alan Mills, and he's talking to him again now at courtside as the umpire calls time. Alan Mills is coming onto the court. He's calling Gustavo Kuerten over as well, I think. Yes, he is. It's over. It's over. Rafter's conceding. Rafter is conceding. He can't continue. Well, look, we've suspected this. John Alexander picked it right back at 5-3 in the 3rd set, but we held back really from putting a death wish on Rafter in this match, because we know the problems he's had in the past. He was so confident that he'd recovered from them, but it's been terribly obvious in the last couple of games particularly that Rafter was just not moving. He was swinging and hitting when the ball came to him. When he was absolutely pressured, he'd move as best he could, but for the most part he was just very restricted in his movement on the court.
And again, he pointed to his arm, saying or gesturing that possibly he had cramp in his arm. It's not a satisfying win.
But didn't that happen in Barcelona as well as the legs? He had a problem in the arm as well.
Went into the hip, legs.
Oh, the chant here goes up for Guga. It's a very, very disappointing end to the match, especially for Australia, but even for the Brazilians, because they love a contest and they wanted to see it go to the wire, and they wanted to see Guga win. He's got the victory on the board, not the way he or they would have wanted, and it's certainly not the result Pat Rafter would have wanted. This is the second time in Davis Cup, in the final last year against Spain, now here, the quarterfinals against Brazil, that he's had to concede. And look at, he's devastated. He is absolutely devastated.
The only good thing is that it's just 1 o'clock here, and Pat will have a lot of time to recover before tomorrow's doubles, and I'm sure he will want to play it. He needs to play it for Australia to have any real chance at winning this quarter-final. Really a difficult time for the Australian team. There was speculation before this match that Rafter should be rested on the opening day, that there was very little chance that he could beat Kuerten. That was incorrect, because he did have a chance to win the match. He had set point to lead 2-1. He was playing beautiful tennis. But
well, as John Fitzgerald told us yesterday, John, and Alan Stone confirmed today, they considered all of those options, and there's merit in both arguments. And they've come down on the side of the other argument and gone with Pat in the opening match.
And part of that reason, though, was because Pat was so bullish about wanting to play all three matches. Although he did concede in our interviews before the match that he would abide by the decision of John Fitzgerald. But there was no doubt that he was very, very keen to play all three and rather bullish about the subject.
Well, this is a devastating blow for Australia's chances now in this quarter-final tie. Rafter at a set all and 5-3 in the second set, and with a chance, with a set point, to go to 2-1. From there, could have gone any which way. Maybe he'd have found the strength, he'd have lifted and carried the match through. But unfortunately, as we've seen, after a couple of difficult games, with Kuerten taking the set and going to the early lead in the fourth, Rafter has had to concede, and Gustavo Kuerten draws first blood for Brazil and takes the opening singles rubber, Patrick Rafter, having to forfeit at 2-1 Kuerten and 2-1 in the fourth set.
You can earn a great living as a private investigator. The private inquiry industry is so diverse. Family law, surveillance, corporate, missing persons, government, undercover. Full-time, part-time, you can do it.
Call now, 1-800-445-454.
See the survivors of the great London to Sydney air race this Sunday at Bankstown Airport. Come see the Lockheed Constellation, lots of vintage planes and a wonderful flying display. Gates open 9 a.m. this Sunday, Bankstown Airport.
Recreational shades offer protection from the harsh summer's sun. Recreational shades for your home, your swimming pool, barbecue area or carport. For all year-round protection, call for a site inspection. Fully engineered structures installed starting from only $1,900. Recreational shade structures offer up to 98% UV protection. Call now for an inspection with easy finance available. To take advantage of our special offers, call Recreational Shades on 02 9214 2961. We're waiting for your call now.
Small businesses told us they wanted simpler and easier quarterly business activity statement reporting. So we've responded. And you now have some choices. Of course, if you're okay with the way you've been doing your BAS so far, you can carry on just the same way. But you can choose to do it a different way. Every quarter, just return the BAS form and pay an instalment amount advised by the tax office. And after the end of the year, do an annual GST return. If you have a small business and lodge a quarterly BAS, the tax office is sending you a letter explaining these choices. And look out for your copy of the next edition of the BAS Basics booklet to find out about the changes in more detail. This has been sent to you, or you can pick one up at most newsagents and banks. Call the tax office on 13 24 78 if you have any questions, or visit the website.
Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
Nobody is faster than snap printing.
You can fax or modem snap your work.
Snap printing will design, print, copy
and deliver your work anywhere you wish.
You want it on demand? Demand snap printing.
Did you know we still owe $181,000 on our mortgage? There has got to be a better way.
You can save more than you borrowed on your mortgage and pay it off in as little as a quarter of the time.
That sounds like what we need.
HomeSec Home Loans, 1300 134 600.
The chase lasted less than a minute, but it ended in disaster.
I'm the first idiot to be nabbed.
They can now detect and alert drivers showing any sign of falling asleep.
7 News, nightly at 6.
Yes, constant worries for Patrick Rafter, one of the great role models of tennis and sport in the world. And I start to wonder, Alan, is that the sign that this career could be coming to an end?
Well, it's pretty devastating, isn't it, for Pat to end now like that. That's Davis Cup, it's the Australian Open, and now Davis Cup again. And he was so keen to play the whole 3 matches at this tie. He really felt he was in great shape. He was playing well coming into it in hot conditions in Florida. And to have to forfeit again, well, it's just absolutely shattering. And of course, it'll have a pretty devastating effect on the rest of the team, I think.
Yeah,
so
this is soul-destroying stuff for the Australians. Now, the doubles are totally up in the air. Who will play doubles if Pat's really got this problem?
Well, I think John Fitzgerald will try to look positively about it and he'll just concentrate on Leighton Hewitt's upcoming match, and hopefully that Hewitt can win that match and we can finish the day at 1-1. That's how John Fitzgerald and Wally Masur will look at it, and then they'll have to really look at it the next day, tomorrow, and see where they go from here. But I think he won't be thinking too much about that at the moment. All his efforts will be concentrating on Leighton Hewitt, trying to resurrect something from the damage.
Yeah, well, the Brazilians off to a flying start. Winning the first rubber, Gustavo Kuerten in 4 sets, or in fact 3 in the 4th set, uncompleted, with Pat Rafter forfeiting. He dropped the first set 4-6, then won the second 6-4, won the third in a tie-break, and was devastating in the tie-break 7-1, and was leading by 2 games to 1 in the 4th when Rafter forfeited. But John Alexander did spot the damage in that 3rd set at 5-3.
Yes, it was a bit difficult for us to see on the monitor here, and he didn't look to be moving all that badly, although, as we said, he did have the chances to wrap up that 3rd set, and then the tie-break, I guess, was a bit of a telltale, because he won the first point, then lost 7 in a row, and the double fault was quite a poor double fault on the set point to actually concede the set. So very, very disappointing.
It was always going to be a tough assignment for the Australians, but Patrick Rafter played superb tennis before he started to falter with that injury. And the stats really do tell a story. Everything's so even, but the contrasting style of the 2 players, the forehand and backhand winners there is Gustavo Kuerten, and the number of points won at the net by Patrick Rafter with that serve and volley game virtually sums up the two styles of the 2 players.
Yes, everything very similar. The serving, the aces, the double faults, the unforced errors. But as you said, Kuerten playing the counter-punching role, the passing shots role. That's how come he's hit so many of those ground stroke winners. And then Rafter ever pressing towards the net, 27 winners at the net for him. So those 2 stats are the key.
Well, it's a sad demise for Pat Rafter. We mentioned that he's forfeited this match with some marvellous highlights. He struggled a little bit in the opening service game. There's only 1 break point in that first set. He grabbed it in the 10th game, seized the opportunity to take the set. But we were treated to some magnificent play, and this vociferous crowd over there really adds some great atmosphere, doesn't it?
Well, that's the drama of Davis Cup tennis, the hometown crowds. But I thought Rafter's tactics were very, very sound in this match. He mixed up his serving well, and he played a lot of drop volleys, taking account of the fact that Kuerten plays a long way behind the baseline. So his tactics were fine. He was playing smart tennis. And it's just a pity in the end that his body wouldn't allow him to be able to continue. It would have been an interesting conclusion to the match, I think.
Yeah, it was just a wonderful match. There was so many defining moments, that seizing the opportunity in the first break point, then he got away to an early break to lead 2-love, and then 2 doubles in his 3rd game as Kuerten broke back. That was very much a telling blow for the Australian.
It was a real connoisseur's match, wasn't it, with the baseliner in Kuerten, the best baseliner in the world with the great passing shots, and probably one of the great serve volleyers we've seen in the last decade or so on the men's tour. So it had all the ingredients, it had everything that we were looking for, and it was living up to those expectations, particularly when Pat got the first set. As you said, though, had he won the game when he led 2-love in the second, had he been able to hang on to his serve there and lead 3-love, who knows, he might have been able to get through that second set and may have even won in straight sets. You just don't know.
Well, he had a wonderful opportunity on a chance of a breakback point, but a tremendous topspin lob by Kuerten just denied him, and that was a soul cruncher.
And of course Kuerten, once he gets his nose in front with the crowd behind him, he can produce these spectacular passing shots, as you see there. It doesn't even seem to matter that he's 4 metres behind the baseline and taking a big wind up, such as his timing on the ball. And Rafter there was able to pick that one, but really his backhand passing shots, Gustavo Kuerten, they were really outstanding.
His medical problem, it's obviously a medical problem. When you think of it, he is so match hardened coming into this, although he's limited his preparation on the clay with his late arrival in Florianopolis. But match hardened coming to this, and it was on a roll. He was playing such good tennis.
Yes, well, I guess the difference is these Grand Slam events like the Australian Open and Davis Cup are best of 5-set matches. And he appears to be able to, at this point anyway, only be able to play at his best physically for a certain number of minutes in a match, and it seems that the longer the match goes, and as I said, 5 sets of tennis, he physically at this stage can't seem to be able to last it.
Well, you as an Australian selector, once they arrive at the venue, your role is basically suspended, but do you expect a call from Fitzy and Wally Monsieur to seek a bit of guidance over the next couple of days, Alan?
No, I don't think so. I think they can handle it over there in Brazil. They're on the spot, but they'd be pretty disappointed. I think they won't concede that the tie is over by any means. I mean, Pat Rafter is disappointed obviously here and absolutely shattered, but we've seen what a fighter Leighton Hewitt is when he plays for Australia or when he plays anywhere around the world. Leighton Hewitt is just a sensational competitor. Rafter there just indicating that perhaps he's having some cramping in the elbow as well there, in the forearm perhaps. But I think all their efforts now will be solely behind Leighton Hewitt, and I think he can level the tie and win this second match.
Malajani's got a proven Davis Cup record, though. He's getting on in age. I think he turns 30 just after this tie.
Yeah.
But the clay court's going to be the great leveller.
Well, Hewitt, you would think it'd be the better clay courter, but I hate to say this, Malagany got to the semis of the French Open 2 years ago. It was a bit of a surprise, but he's shown that he can match it with clay courters at the very best level, semi-finals of the French. And he will grow a third leg here with this now. They're up 1-love. The crowd's going to be behind him. He played in the Davis Cup against us in July in Brisbane last year, and he didn't play all that well. It was on grass, and he was pretty disappointing there in that, and I think he's pretty anxious to show everybody what a great player he is in his own right, and that Brazil just isn't a one-man team with Gustavo Kuerten. So I'm thinking that Leighton Hewitt can win this upcoming match, but it won't be easy by any means. I mean, I couldn't see Leighton winning easily in 3 straight sets. I mean, I think we're here for a few hours yet.
Very good. OK, well, a testing time for the new Australian Davis Cup captain, John Fitzgerald. He's a seasoned campaigner on the court. It's a test for him off the court with this demise of Pat Rafter forfeiting in the 4th set of his clash with Gustavo Kuerten. But Mike Amor caught up with John Fitzgerald immediately after the Gustavo Kuerten-Pat Rafter match.
Well, he's got some pain in his elbow, and it's in the muscle, so it's not a structural thing. And we just thought, we want him to play doubles tomorrow, and we thought that we know what a grind it is against Guga in these conditions, and his elbow was hurting him on the kick serve, and that's his serve. So we thought it was safer to play the odds.
How's he feeling? Obviously devastated.
Yeah, he's disappointed. We're all disappointed. He was playing at an awfully high level there for about 2.5 hours. Yeah, he's disappointed, as we all are, but there's a long way to go yet.
So you think he'll be right for the doubles tomorrow?
I believe so, yeah.
What about the decision to play 3 days in a row? Will we review that?
Look, that's too far ahead. We have to now just worry about this next match. I think, Leighton's been hitting the ball awfully well. And I guess all along, if we felt we could come out of this first day at 1-all, we'd be in pretty good shape. So my mind is really focused on this next match now, today.
Patrick was looking pretty good there. He seemed to lose his serve a bit in the second set.
Yeah, well, I think it was affecting his service motion, and he did. It was pretty obvious, really. He didn't quite serve with the same venom. Heck, he was playing well in the first set and a half, wasn't he? He was playing beautifully. But You know, we just thought we'd play the odds.
What about the court? He seemed to be bothered by the court a bit?
No, I don't think he was bothered by the court, but it certainly lifts. You know, it's obvious that some chunks do come up, and he was just taking his time and putting them back down. The court wasn't bothering him at all. He enjoyed the surface.
What about the crowd?
Fantastic crowd. Unbelievable. Good crowd.
So I guess
a lot of noise.
I guess you monitor him overnight?
We're monitoring, yeah. Yep. He's fine. He'll be, I'll be very surprised if he's not on the court tomorrow.
Thanks, Richard.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Just quickly.
So maybe Alan Stone and myself are just getting ahead of ourselves a little bit medically there, because it could well be that Patrick Rafter's problem isn't the cramping, and it's obvious that it's an elbow, and that will obviously be closely monitored by John Fitzgerald overnight. And maybe that's some encouraging news for Pat Rafter in prolonging that magnificent career that we know that he possesses. We're going to take a break and come back and preview the second singles match from Brazil. But as we go to the break, some of the great highlights coming your way. Sporting action here on 7.
Easter AFL Fest, International Rugby Union, Super 12 Rugby, Winter Olympics, World Figure Skating Championships, Rex Hunt's Footy Panel, Sports World, Rugby Zone, 7 has the Ashes Tour, and One Day International Series. Watch out.
Well, I think that is Australian support, but it's hard to really tell over there because both countries sporting the green and gold, and Brazil are off to a start that they would be really hoping for, because Gustavo Kuerten, after Pat Rafter forfeited, they lead by 1 rubber to love in this quarter-final of the Davis Cup. And we will closely monitor and speak with John Alexander and Gary Wilkinson about that Pat Rafter injury just in a few moments' time. But one thing, as Channel 7 goes to this great insight on the great Pat Rafter, there's one thing is for certain about the Australians, as they sort of laud him as a sporting icon and hero, that you either love him or you love him, with or without those long locks.
In 1992, I travelled with my mother through Asia for 7 weeks, and I was this little scared fella coming onto the tour and seeing all these big guys. I'd lose first round of qualifying, and I was with my mother, and you know, when someone like someone big and famous would come by with a big cry check, you know, at that time, and someone, I just thought, whoa, he'd come by, I'd just sort of get out of the way and let, you know, if you want this, yes, you can have this, and you know, I'll just sort of sit back and watch. And mother just pulled me aside one day, and she saw how the way I was acting, and just said, listen, you know, just you know, you came to this earth with nothing. He came with nothing. He leaves with nothing. You leave with nothing. And you are no better than or no worse than anyone else in this world. And it really stuck with me, and I've always tried to treat people the same way. And that's been probably the biggest thing that I've learned in my whole life, which is, and I'll probably die, you know, taking that as the best experience or best thing that I've ever learnt in my life. You know, it's funny how the world sort of, they take you under their wing, and all of a sudden they put you on this pedestal. And I remember when I was younger, and I'd go up to girls and say, you know, how you going? They say, rack off. You say, beauty. And you sort of walk away. And now, I mean, you go up to that same girl right now, and they want to talk to you, and you go, it's very, no, it doesn't seem right. And that's what I've always found strange about all that. But at the same time, it's been really nice. I mean, it's been a lot of, you know, it could be a lot worse, you know, and it's been sort of fun.
There are so many, I just can't decide what to tell you.
I'm just a typical Australian male, and a lot of women find that hard to deal with.
He's just a normal guy, you know, dirty tennis clothes around the room, and sweaty socks in places you don't really want to find them, and stuff like that.
I love my mates, and just being a real boy. And I think there can be some bad habits in that.
Having to wait. He used to travel with his older brother Jeff, and
And there was one time he had a 6 o'clock practice court, and he's one of these guys, he has to be on time. Like, he's on time for everything. Yeah. And Jeff turned up at, I think, 10 past 6. 5 past 6 or something. And he was so angry that he didn't tell him off himself. He called his mum, and his mum called Jeff up and told him off for being 10 minutes late.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I mean, you know, I don't really have too many insecurities, I don't think. You know, I got nearly everything that I need.
A couple of weeks ago, he was telling me he bought his first car, and I was expecting, oh, he's got a Porsche or a Ferrari or something, and he bought a 1980 Pajero Mitsubishi. It cost him $10,000. So, you know, that's just the type of guy he is.
I'm really contented where I am, and have a great life. And you know, sure, you know, there's always things that could be better and that, but very, very happy with where I am right now.
Yeah, what a tremendous champion, Pat. It's a great family. It's a great family story. But I suppose the next chapter we could add to that was Rafter's subtitle, Future ?
Yes, well, it's interesting about the elbow, isn't it? Because he withdrew from the doubles in the semi-finals in Florida just before coming here to Brazil, and the reason was tendinitis in his wrist. So I'm not sure if the two are related or anything like that. So obviously the cramp wasn't a factor today for Patrick, which is good. So that obviously means that he's dealing with that problem. But gee, when's it going to stop?
It's just a tragedy, isn't it?
Yeah, it just really is. I mean, I must say I'm feeling a little shattered about it all, actually.
And no doubt John Alexander and Gary Wilkinson are in Brazil as we cross back to them at the moment. The crowd, funnily enough, are just silenced, Gary. It's just a numb feeling of seeing a great champion struggling.
Absolutely, David. I mean, I think the Brazilian fans are as disappointed, maybe not quite, it's different for them, but they are disappointed that the contest didn't go down to the wire. Nobody wants to see a match conclude like that, especially a match of this significance between two players of such significance. But I don't think that John Alexander or myself are entirely convinced that it's just the elbow or the forearm or whatever it is. I mean, unless his movement was restricted because he was so dispirited, I don't know. But he certainly was not moving in the last 4 or 5 games of that match anywhere near as well as he was in the first 2.5 sets. I mean, okay, he wasn't limping and he didn't stagger off the court. And yes, I did see him flexing that forearm and the elbow in the couple of games prior to the forfeit.
Gary, you mentioned at one stage... You mentioned at one stage that he leant on his racket before serving. Was there any indication at that stage that alerted you? I know J.A. was concerned.
Well, I mean, I just made the observation. John had already observed to me, and we didn't say it on air immediately because we didn't want to sound false alarms, but John had already alerted me to it. In fact, he scribbled me a little note and said, you know, a bit worried here about Pat's movement. And so we watched him closely, and then a game and a half later, as he walked up to serve, he got to the end of the court, he sort of leant on the racket the bit way I lean on the walking stick and for support, and it just momentarily looked as though he needed a little help to, I don't know, I won't say he was going to fall over, but it was just an odd movement, an odd thing to do, and then I became more convinced that John was right, and from there on it was noticeable that his movement was restricted. Now, as I said, maybe he became so dispirited because he knew the arm wasn't going to hold up that he just stopped chasing. But I think that's very un-Rafter. You know, I mean, he does fight to the end, and as long as he can stand on his 2 feet.
I must say, J.A. and Gary,
look, you know, I don't doubt John.
I just didn't see too much indication that his elbow was giving him any pain, though. Did you say you noticed something? I didn't know. He didn't call for a trainer. He didn't seem to be mentioning or discussing it with Fitzy that there was any elbow problem at all.
None of that, except that I did see him once or twice take his wrist in the other hand and sort of stretch the arm back out as straight as it could be, you know, just sort of flex that forearm and the elbow. But I mean, you know, you see players flexing arms and muscles and legs all the time, especially when they get into a long, tough match like this. So, I mean, you can't read a scare tactic. You can't read a major injury into every little muscle flex. And we were, I don't know, as I said, I don't doubt John Fitzgerald's word at all. But from here, our observation is that it seemed to be more than a forearm or an elbow. And
Gary and John,
whether it was or not remains to be seen. I guess it'll pan out tomorrow.
Gary and John, looking ahead to the next match, Leighton Hewitt and Melagini. Of course, Leighton struck a big telling blow at the ANZ Stadium last year, winning in straight sets. But this now takes on great importance for Australia. How much do you think Leighton's confidence would have been eroded with what's just happened to Pat Rafter after he put up such a great early showing and gave Australia a great hope at one stage that we might have gone one up in this quarter-final?
Leighton Hewitt is a brick wall, and I don't think it would affect his mental state at all when he comes out to fight Melagini. But let's remember that Pat Rafter disposed of Kuerten with similar disdain on the grass in Brisbane to the way that Hewitt dealt with Melagini. And we've seen a totally different ball game here today because Hewitt dealt with Melagini. And we've seen a totally different ball game here today because it is clay. But Melagini is not Gustavo Kuerten, not by any manner of means. Having said that, he's been a semi-finalist at the French Open. He's been the 4th round of the French on 2 prior occasions. He's only won 3 tournaments in his life. All 3 of them have been on clay. He's an established, respected clay court player. And he's coming off an injury. His form of the recent past hasn't been great because of that. But he's back. There was a little scare here day before yesterday when on this rough court surface he rolled an ankle. But it hasn't done any major damage. Pat Rafter did the same thing 3 or 4 days ago. Melagini's going to be a tough opponent, but John Alexander, I would expect that Leighton Hewitt will be equal to the task.
Yes, in form in practice matches, Leighton has really impressed me. I think he's just played very measured tennis. He came down here a little bit later than what might have been ideal, but that's because of the success he enjoyed in Florida, where he got the semi-final of the Super 9 event. And he's been performing very steadily on the American tour, and I think he hasn't overdone it in practice. I think he's enjoyed where they've stayed. He's had a little surfing in the morning in the ocean, and I think John Fitzgerald did a very good job of selecting that place for them to stay at in view of their tough schedule that they've just been through. I think he is eager to play. He is so confident, and he has such a poise about his presence in these situations. And he will come on with no inhibition whatsoever and do his best, play his best, and you've got to imagine that's going to be good enough.
Having said all that, though, there is a niggling, tiny little niggling doubt there too over his state of health with a recurrence of this respiratory problem that he had last year.
Yes, there's been quite a bit of speculation. The speculation continues, whether it's a virus, whether it's some allergy, or whether it's a type of asthma. Latest thoughts are possibly that it's some sort of a toxic irritation. Something
John Fitzgerald and John Alexander. I suppose okay, we've just lost John and John Alexander. Just one thing now, the makeup of this doubles tomorrow. Should Pat Rafter not be right?
Well, I must say I was a little surprised to hear Fitzy in the interview say he expected Rafter to be able to play. Now, you know, 1 minute Rafter's forfeited because he can't continue in this match, and yet Fitzy's pretty confident to be able to play tomorrow. He just says it's precautionary. Gee, I don't know, if it's only precautionary, maybe he could have stayed and played a bit longer in this match, you know, but I would think that there has to be some question mark about him being able to take his place in the doubles tomorrow.
A lot will depend on this second singles match between Melagini and Leighton Hewitt coming up here on the 7 Network. We're going back to Brazil shortly. We're going to take a break right now here on 7.